What's up, y'all? Kofi Kingston here, and I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks, depending on what that drink is, preferably non-alcoholic, you know?
How's it going, Celtic Warrior James?
Soda.
I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Maple syrup.
I would never have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Welcome to the dive bar of the IWC. Welcome to Wrestling on the Rocks. I am at Ref Marsh. We are at WOTR, the show. This show's a little bit different. We are not live. I'm not all reffed up because this is not going to be the typical show. If you are catching it now as it goes live on Thursday, you'll recognize we did not do a show yesterday. We are heading out of town, and we're trying to prep all that and get all that ready. With that in mind, this episode's not going to be much of a recap or review of anything you saw on TV, but we are going to be covering a lot of what happened at sea. That's right, MsAmandaJayne, live from the Jericho Cruise. She called us, we zoomed in, we talked to her, she sent us videos, sent us photos. This is the MsAmandaJayne Jericho Cruise extravaganza. Here we go.
Yeah, I have videos I was filming tonight with the bar crawl, and I had drunk Shida. So, actually, I think I just made her a fan of our podcast.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Well, I'll tell you. We'll talk about that because we have a lot of fans that were on this boat that I did not know. So we can talk about that.
People recognize because we saw that you posted some pictures. Let's just get this because who knows where this is going to place in the post. Okay, yeah. But MsAmandaJayne is on the Jericho Cruise, reporting live on the scene. We saw pictures you had posted of meeting a ton of people, and you were wearing your episode 1 shirt, which we got a kick out of. People recognized it.
Oh, they did. Well, at first there was one guy. But this guy is like apparently him and his mother are the resident. Don't ever let these people on the cruise again. So, but whatever. But he thought it was a Star Wars shirt, and then somebody else was like, "Hey, I was going to tell you, hey, I like that movie too, but he's like, I got thrown off because of the wrestling on the rocks. So converted some people, and then I had a couple people. I actually had one lady ask me where Ref Marsh was, and I said, this couldn't make it happen. So that was kind of nice. There was someone who was like, don't let Bishop try to take Thursdays over. I'm like,
Yeah.
thank you. I'll let them know. But we actually had quite a few people who recognized the shirt, and they're like, are you filming episode 1 live? And I said, I'm not the technical people. I don't have producer lady here. I don't have the fart gun. I don't have any of that. So people knew. But
the show without the fart gun is not as good.
Exactly. It's not. So there are, and I've said this before, I think on episode 1, there are a lot of people who I always say that they listen. So there's a few wrestlers that are actually some fans of ours, which is kind of cool. So I can definitely confirm without a doubt that number one, that Ricky's been watching our podcast quite a bit. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Because he had said something to me in one of the many times I kept running into him that I'm like, that was said on episode 1. So people, I'm saying he's one. Swoggles actually caught us one time.
That's fun.
Which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Cardona was, I think he was interested in the shirt, and I was telling him, I said, yeah, we have this is my little podcast. I said, yeah, my partner, I said, I kind of was invited and haven't left. But so we talk wrestling, and he thought that was great. I said, yeah, that's kind of what we do. So I think we might be on his radar. So he might be checking us out. So definitely a lot of even wrestlers were asking me about the shirt. Moose asked me about the shirt, and I'm like, yeah, we just drink and talk about wrestling. And a video I filmed with Shida this evening at Bar Crawl. People were trying to get her drunk so bad. I felt so bad. But I love her to death. She's so sweet. Love her. She and Willow Nightingale had an amazing match on the boat. And, I think, Marsh, maybe you said it on episode 1, or maybe it was Clump. Shout out to Clump. We missed you, dude.
I was talking to Clump today, yeah.
Oh, cool. That I think it's Tony's booking with the women, because the match we saw with Shida and Willow, that's not AEW women's type of matches. This was another level. And if people think, Willow's kind of a weird, thing. No, actually, she's actually pretty great, and she had great chemistry with Shida. It was a wonderful match. So
I know Willow was in MLW for a short period of time. Was she also in Mission Pro? Because I feel like she did some time over Mission Pro, training with Thunder and Jazz.
And she did. And she did Ring of Honor at the end of the tail end. Yeah. So, but again, great thing. But with Shida, though, I'd say that I think I'd probably been indifferent with Shida. I mean, I don't know, because that was not my thing. But this kind of Shida that we saw, I'm like, I can get behind and really enjoy it. I mean, that was kind of that level, the two of them working that, that not at Roxanne's level, but that kind of Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade, kind of Tiffany Stratton, that kind of NXT vibe. So that I really kind of enjoyed that. They're sure working pretty Peter Avalon and Nemeth as replacing things. There was a lot of comedy wrestling, which, for me, I'm like, if you're going to do this kind of shit, have some of the guys who do it right. No people.
Yeah.
And Eddie, I'm sorry, and I love you. They even made him look like a bitch on the boat. I'm sorry.
He looked like a badass at CWF for Dave. Eddie looked like a badass out there.
Yeah. But then all of a sudden you put him around AEW and he was like a schmuck.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Seeing Peter Avalon for the first time in a while, he's in really good shape, isn't he?
He is. The haircut did him wonders, I think.
The haircut looks
I didn't
amazing.
watch.
He's in awesome shape.
Well, the main event on the first night was the Acclaimed versus Pretty Peter Avalon and Ryan Nemeth.
Oh,
So
interesting.
they were replacing the Lucha Brothers. So you gotta down.
That's
Yeah.
tough. That's a tough spot because I know they've talked about it before, especially on Bruce's podcast, that if you're going to replace someone, they have to be equal to or better than, and you usually try to go for better than. Not trying to say that Peter and Ryan Nemeth are not great workers in what they do, but to replace the Lucha Brothers is definitely not going to excite people who were expecting to see the Lucha Brothers. It's a different style.
No, and well, not that it's a different style, but it's a different caliber. I mean, you have a lot of people here who came to see the brothers,
Yeah.
And a lot of people on Facebook were like, "Oh, well, it's an upgrade because these guys were all over the boat." I'm like, excuse me, they're luchadors.
Yeah.
You in that culture, you're not supposed to know what they look like underneath. You really aren't, and that's uncomfortable to have to all day wear those stupid masks out in public, because it's just dumb. I mean, Bandito used to do it when in Vegas with ROH. He wouldn't wear a mask. But the problem was with him too. It's so easy to tell who he is because he has the long hair. So that's what gives him away. Now, Penta, I'm sure if he was walking around in a tank top or a t-shirt or something that you could see his tattoos, you would know it was Pentagon. Yeah. So people need to stop whining, I mean, and just like whatever people, but you're right. It should be equal to or better than. So
and it's also not to talk down about Peter Avalon and Ryan Nemeth's ability, but they're just never been booked as high on a card as Penta and Phoenix. Like the Lucha Underground was like tethered to Penta and Phoenix. The MLW, or not, I mean MLW, they were pretty big over there, but AAA, Penta's the biggest star they have. You know what I mean? Like to go from that level, these top of the card main eventers. Penta main evented the show we went to for AAA on Cain Velasquez's return to the ring outside on bail. Like to be bigger than that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's a tough spot for Peter and Ryan to end up in.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool. Here's some behind the scenes kinds of things because this happened this evening. Right now, if it looks kind of woo, it's not because I was on this bar crawl. But you know what? Definitely a Wrestling on the Rocks thing. There is going to be number 5. They're going to go from Miami to the Mayan Riviera, I believe. And this is something I think that maybe, you and producer lady, you guys, we should go. I'd say, hey, maybe even no, Bishop would never come because he'd be, well, first of all, I don't, sometimes I think, I don't know. I did see someone else from Delaware. They told me they were from Delaware, and this is my reaction. Oh, Delaware, huh?
Oh.
Oh. Yes, and Bishop, I said it just that way. I didn't want to go, oh, I know someone from Delaware.
Well, they probably know Bishop. Everyone there knows each other. It's very small.
Probably. It's very small. There's chickens everywhere. And Bishop. If you were to ask me what's in Delaware, Bishop and chickens.
Bishop and chickens.
Not even say the Briscoes. I'll say Bishop before I say the Briscoes.
Yeah.
But I think it would have been cool if they had gotten maybe as a replacement, because who knows how long they've known. But if they had gotten House of Black, maybe, that's one I would say that would be equal to. In some cases, people would think equal to, better than would be the Bucks, but whatever.
The Bucks would be to a lot of people. I would even say the Gun Club, but they're in the middle of a story with Acclaimed, so you can't really get away with that.
The Gun Club is here.
Yeah, but they weren't in the match, is what I'm saying.
Well, I know, but they're not going to put that because
They're not gonna put it on a
people.
boat. Yeah.
Well, not going to put. Well, one, they're not going to put it on a boat, and two, the stupid fans here are very IWC heavy,
Mm.
and those ones that I don't like that kind of shit because some people I was talking to, they're like, oh yeah. So apparently on the boat, I'm known as that girl hates Will Ospreay. Yep, I fucking do hate Will Ospreay. That's a great thing. So that's my thing. So I'm
get
like,
some
hey,
sort of shirt made
it's
that
true.
says you hate Will Ospreay.
No, I don't even want to. He probably sue me for using his name.
Yeah, maybe we could do a
I
different
don't know
thing.
if that's his government. No, it's okay, but
we
I
could do
have a
one that
project
says
for you,
ocean
Marsh,
spray makes me
to draw,
piss.
and I think
Because it's a dual one. If ocean spray makes me piss, it's both that cranberry juice does that, plus the desire to piss on Will Ospreay.
Oh my God! Can you please play the fart gun noise after that, please? That was from me. I don't know. That's a lot of suing everywhere.
Yeah, I don't know if ocean spray is going to be as cool as Osprey would be about using their name.
I know. See,
do some Marv action.
And I have a buddy. So you actually have a friend. There's another one who is the sixth man bear. This was his first appearance on the boat, and I helped him. This is what drinking friends, when you drink with friends, what they do. The poor guy, dude in the costume, he really wanted to have a drink. I mean, we were on a bar crawl. So he was like, I gotta go. I'm gonna go run out into the bathroom and have my drink. And I'm like, I overheard him say that. I'm like, bro,
why is he drinking in
give
the
me
bathroom?
your drink. And he's like, well, because he had to take the head off, Like if Mickey Mouse wanted a shot or something or a drink, he can't do it out in the field. He's got to go behind the scenes.
What the fuck are you talking about? What was he dressed as? You've missed a lot of this story already.
There was a guy that was in a bear costume.
Oh,
he was called
Bear.
Bear. Yeah. He is now a friend of the show. Okay.
What was the reason of the bear? Was he hired by Jericho to be there as a bear?
No, he wasn't hired by Jericho. He worked for Sixman, the people who were putting the show on.
Okay. Was it a promotional bear?
No.
Just a regular bear.
The guy was like, it's just a regular bear, and he wore one of the staff shirts.
He wasn't part of like the Panda Express?
No.
Because they were a tag team in AEW for a period of time.
Yeah, no. This guy was legit, like someone's like bear costume that he bought off of Amazon. I posted a picture on Twitter so you can see. Very generic. But I was like, why don't you use the straw?
Yeah.
And he was like, no way. So see, this is what we do as when we drink with friends.
Yeah.
This is what we do. And he was amazed by it. And I helped him with the head so it wouldn't fall off and ruin the magic, because I'm sure Mark would tell you, Mickey can't do. Well, I know Mickey can't drink on the job, but if he was going to, he can't, do that out in the field. But
the mouth is a little difficult to get straws through and stuff. I was a bear once for a dental company in my younger years. I was a mascot. It was I believe it was Hug-A-Bear, I think his name was.
Okay.
It was weird.
But what were you doing? Did you have like a sign and you had to stand on the street?
It had to do with the children's dental office, and I was in a Target, and they were trying to get parents to sign up to come take their kids to this brand new dental office for kids. And my mom worked there as a dental assistant, and so they needed someone who could fit the suit, and nobody who worked there wanted to do it. And she had mentioned it, and I was like, I will absolutely be a mascot. And it was not the only time I was ever a mascot. Anytime someone's had a suit of an animal and said, we need someone who's willing to put this on, I'm usually the one who goes, fuck yeah, I'm going to do it. There was a chicken wing restaurant I worked at, and they needed someone to put on the chicken costume, and everyone refused. I saw it and said, give it. They ended up putting me in a commercial. I was out on the street dancing and stuff. Like it was like on local TV. Like I was like, fuck yeah, I'll do that. I thought that there was a possibility I could potentially become professional mascot then on forward. I'm not as athletic as I think most mascots are known to be, but I was very
Wow.
physically active.
You
I did a lot of Jack
you
Black
know,
type movements.
you know, when you become this famous like podcast producer, really like ultra famous, this could be blackmail.
It could come up
I'm
because
not saying I
there's
do
a
it.
picture.
Yeah.
My stepmom sent it to me from time to time. There's a picture
Mhm.
of her father with me in the chicken costume. And if you didn't know it was me in the chicken costume, you just think there's a picture of my grandpa with a chicken. But every now and again, my stepmother stumbles upon it and sends it back to me and says, I smile every time. And I go, so do I. There was a time my brother was walking
Oh,
down the street as I was on the corner of the street, dancing around as this chicken, just doing all sorts of stuff, right? And my brother walks up and I see it's my brother. He knows my job, so he knows it's me. And so I start pointing at him like it's a wrestling thing. And I was like, fuck you, dude. And so we're yelling at each other and he starts pushing me. So I start pushing him and we're grappling. And some kid in a truck that's kind of driving by hangs out the window and just goes, leave the chicken alone, and fucking pelts my brother with an orange that he had in the car. My brother's all like, boosh, oh. And he looks down and we just supposed to see an orange. We look over and we see this kid flying out, like fucking flipping off my brother. Like, it was amazing. These were great times.
oh my God.
So I'm a big fan of whoever this bear is on the cruise. To me, that's my people.
Dude, you know what? That's why you're missed. So hold on. I'm not because I just went on a beer crawl. It was like an hour and there was like 6 drinks, but I got extra and a lot of people did too. So it was great. But I'll say that yeah, it was $25. It was worth the money.
That's not bad at all. $25 for 6 drinks for an hour. Yeah, I'd do that.
For an hour. There were wrestlers walking around, like Eddie Kingston was there, but then he got kind of sick. This boat is really moving bad. ODB, and everyone's like, ODB is not drinking. And so she's like, in her raspy voice, I only do beer and hard shit. Hard shots. That's what I do. We're not drinking that. She says, so fuck that. I love her.
Wait, so what's the drinks? What are the drinks they're having if it's not beer or hard stuff? What were they? What's the other option? Was it just fucking Trulies?
No, it wasn't even Trulies. Okay, so on the Jericho Cruise, there's different, themed drinks. So there was one of the stops had a themed drink. I will say the best drink on the whole.
I hope someone's making a Fozzie navel. I'm just gonna say that.
They did have, I believe. I will snap a picture. I haven't.
Yeah, the Fozzie navel should be on that cruise.
That is the first year.
They had that the first year? Perfect.
Yeah, they had 3. Now there's like 8 drinks. I'll take a picture of the menu.
We'll post it here. I'm gonna whatever this episode ends up being video wise, I'm gonna post this. I'm gonna splice in any videos you send me. We're gonna make this an Ultra Jericho Cruise update podcast. It'll drop on Thursday. So when you hear this, it'll be Thursday, because as you hear this, I will most likely be on the road to California to spend some time with my grandparents. So I'm not going to be able to be recording on that Thursday, which is why I think that it was so cool and important that we do this, that you were available. So, which will probably also be in the preamble before this, but
yes.
Yeah. So send me any pictures and videos that you want to be a part of the show.
You got it. And you know what? There's one in particular, and I just posted the picture on Twitter. So anybody who knows the NWA Hard Times Weekend knows that, boy, Nick Aldis and me, oil and water, man.
Is Nick on the cruise?
No. Nick's on the cruise. Mickey's on the cruise. So look at my Twitter right now. Look at my Twitter.
I have been busy.
Look right now.
By the time this airs, I will have seen it.
I know, but I want your face reaction.
Go ahead.
No, but you got to look at the.
I'm looking.
I want your face. Okay, because I don't want you to splice in a fake reaction. Then people will think we're shills. They'll be.
I am a shill.
Whatever. I know, but come on now. They're like technically
People
they're like,
know what
well,
they've
they have
already
an episode.
established.
No, they. It's the gimmick. It's the life. So, anyways, so he was there, obviously with Miss Mickey, and at the bar crawl, and I was like, holy fuck, there's Nick Aldis, and in my head, Nick Aldis.
God damn, he's smiling with you and everything.
Yeah. I had like literally a 15-minute conversation with Nick Aldis.
Oh shit, and there's the bear.
And we had a great conversation. There's the bear, see?
Okay, so
and
I gotta hear what you talked to Nick Aldis about. Because there's
minutes?
no way you didn't bring it up. You are not subtle. There's no way you didn't say you yelled at me. You know what I mean? Like that had to have happened.
No, that was part of the conversation too. But oh yeah, by the way, before I get into that, the bear had these light sticks and he gave me one.
Woo! Those are good. Those are Naomi light sticks right there.
Yep. Okay, anyways. Feel the glow. All right. So I went over to Nick and I'm like, I know he has to recognize me. There's no way that he doesn't, right? And he was like, kind of shocked. And I was to him. And I was like, first of all, I want to apologize to you.
Wow.
I went up there because I'm like, okay, I will never do this to Ocean Spray. But Nick Aldis, I actually did because, I said, I'm not sure if you remember who I was. And he was like, you went to NWA. I go, Hard Times Weekend. He goes, oh, yeah. And when he said that, I'm like, oh, shit. God damn it. And he was like, he's a fan of Marty. And I go, damn right I am. I'm like, yes. I said that. Damn right I am. I said, yes, I am. And I said, he's like, boy, he says, I had that opportunity to give you real, real heat on that one. And I said, I was didn't know if you got pissed because I kind of was pushing it because I do that. And he said, yes and no. But he said afterwards, Marty had told him, she's a really big fan of mine. He's like, well, obviously I know who she is. So he actually had told me that Marty had explained who I was. He goes, oh, that makes sense. And then he says to me, he says to me, he said, yeah. And he said, and I said, you blocked me. And I said, I totally understand that. And he was like, it's water under the bridge. We kind of both apologized to each other. We were drinking and whatever. And we actually were talking about, NWA. And I was telling him, I said, I personally think that what he did for that company was amazing. It's sad. And I said to him, it's really sad what has become of it. And it's sad because of what happened at pandemic. And he was like, dude, didn't say dude, but he was like, Marty and I were so excited because that venue that it was supposed to be in, 5,000 people, brand new venue. And he said it was going to be very special. And here was me. So who was supposed to win? And he said, I said, because it didn't matter anymore. And I said, because I have my thought about it. And he said, he asked me, what did I think? He was curious. I said, well, my thought was, because since Marty was running creative or started to for Ring of Honor, that was how you guys were going to come together finally. And it gave you the opportunity then. I said, Marty would have beaten you. Sorry. I said, but he would have taken the title from you. And I believe that would have been that crossover to merge. And you know what he told me? That's exactly right. You heard it here first.
Yeah, because it would have been amazing. I mean, that's the other thing too, is like, it's
What
hard
he
to
told me
say
too.
what company took the most damage from the pandemic. NWA took a shitload of damage. A Ring of Honor ultimately went out of business, and I can't figure out which one actually ended up with the worst end of the deal on that. You know what I mean? Like, the pandemic destroyed both those companies in different ways. Like, yeah,
All this
NWA had a lot. Go ahead.
Yeah. He told me, actually, he said, honestly, he says, if we were to look at both of them, he said, Ring of Honor, he said, that was bullshit that happened over there. That's what he said. I was like, oh, okay. And I, I don't want to go into that because it's, but he did say to me, is NWA, it really killed that momentum. And he said, to be quite honest, he said to me, and I was shocked he was saying this to me, was he said, he says that was going to be also the reason why Marty would have gotten it. That was his way out of NWA. And he had told me that he stayed for one more year. He said, it really was, he said he was convinced, not by Billy Corgan, but he was convinced by other people, stay for another year, and the other year, what I'm talking about is when Power came around. So that's where he was like, this is, this is where it's going to be. And then, he said, obviously pandemic happened. He says, but he said him and Marty were gonna, he said it was going to be amazing. And he said, the sad part was the actual tickets had sold pretty well. He said they were heading toward it being a sellout. And I said, I know, I'm sad. I was going to be there in the front row. He's like, oh, you would have given me hell. I go, it's what I do. So,
I remember sitting next to you too, and when he kind of like yelled over you, I remember you looked at me and I looked at you and I was like, just let it go. I was like, there's only one way out of this safe, and that's we just let it go. Let him do his thing. And you kind of looked at me and you're like, okay. And then you just kind of bit your lip and stared at him and burnt his hair on fire with your eyes. Just fuck you.
I know.
And I loved even after Nick had I don't even know if that thing ever posted, to be honest, because of everything that happened. But I remember
I asked.
What?
Never did.
It never did? Yeah.
I said, no. And he said, it's funny. He said, well, because obviously he says because of what had happened. But I'm like, that would have been the most like heel thing. And he said, in a way, he said that would have really like sparked a lot more.
Because he was really aggressive towards you. And then afterwards, Marty's response was, was kind of like, you keep saying this and you're doing this. And like, yeah, she loves me, but that guy hates me. And then he points over to the Sandoval guy who slapped the thing out of his hand in the match earlier in the night. And he goes, for me, I'm fighting for all of them, love me or hate me and stuff. And he goes, and you're so obsessed with, they have to love you or they have to get out. Like, it was just it was such a big Marty babyface kind of turn, with Nick being like, you shut up because I'm in control. And Marty was like, this is the demon you've become. This thing's taken over you. And it was like I remember being choked up in that, just feeling all this, like, look what's become of you. It was very much Obi and Anakin in the lava as it kind of came across in that moment. You were supposed to be the chosen one, and like, it never aired and we never went that way. But I remember in that moment, we walked away, just both of us almost kind of shaking, like, this was amazing. Yeah. I'm glad we went to that thing for a number of reasons. But I was supposed to go to the other one too.
And then, oh yeah. And I will say this, with shout out to our friend Dave. That was pretty damn real to me, damn it. Yeah. We were both like, holy fuck. And then I'm like thinking, shit, I'm like, I pissed people off. Fuck. But it was great because, because we had that dichotomy dichotomy, because you had the Santa with the bull Santa, and then you had me, and it was like two totally extremes, two total extremes, and it's like it was great, and I think that was very powerful, and it was one of those things I think where when shit is not, it's not scripted, and this is shit that was totally off the, and it worked so well that I think we miss, like, I think with what's going on in wrestling TV land, whatnot, we miss that kind of shit. But I think that with right now, and I've only really seen little bits and pieces, but I think the story with the Usos and Roman and Sammy right now, I mean, that's some pretty powerful things, and that's, I think, what makes it all interesting. And not cookie, whoa, the bow went by. Not cookie cutter. So but that was such a phenomenal conversation that I had with him, and considering that we were a little bit of like kind of enemy territory, it was kind of like, wow. I mean, it was awesome, because he gave me a lot of insider information about a lot of that old stuff, and that was cool, because it's kind of that when he was like, that's how it was going to go. And I said, and I'm not saying that because Terry Marty, but it was more of, that was the logical way. And also I told him, I said,
grow both companies.
But he also couldn't book himself a belt. I'm like, W, sorry. Sorry.
Yeah.
So
that would give him a chance to be on top without being the guy on top.
Exactly. And then I think that then all this probably, and I said, I didn't even say that, but my thought was all this would have transformed and gone the ROH route, because if his contract was up, that would be a good seamless transition to what it is today.
True, because he could have come over to pick a fight with Marty and could have got interrupted by somebody else, and the next thing you know, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, and then it all just like circled life.
Yeah.
But we'll never know what would have happened. But just know, in my heart, I know that's how it was going to go, and I'm at peace with that now.
Plus, there's just something really nice and cool about you being able to bury the hatchet, of all people at all times, to be able to have a drink with Nick Aldis and just shoot the shit for a bit and be all like, yeah, like, because like you said, he ended up blocking you that weekend too. Shit, like, he's like, fuck this bitch, right? And then now he's having a drink with you and he's all like, yeah, it was a lot going on at the time, like, because that's also the point of the whole thing, right? It's not what you're drinking, it's who you're drinking with. And tonight you were drinking with Nick, and you were able to say, look, at the end of the day, we're all just drinking buddies,
Yeah, and it's like, it doesn't matter what you drink, it's who you're drinking it with. And that's really kind of our theme. And I was telling that to quite a lot of people. So if we have a big bump in, viewership, shout out to all of you from the Jericho Cruise. Hit us up, like us, subscribe, whatever.
Side of the DMs. If you want to be on the show, I'll put you on the show. I don't give a shit. I put anybody on this show.
Come and derail. Wait. Well,
come derail it. You do. Come be on it. If that bear wants to come on in bear costume, you got it. I'll do a whole episode, Marv and the Bear. Do an entire review episode.
That would be good. Let me ask my bear friend.
Marv and the Bear. What did you think about AEW? That's my Marv for the night.
Yeah, and then
see?
Yeah, I'd have to ask the bear. I'd ask him, do you belch? He needs his own.
Bears can belch.
I'm sorry.
You smell it. Oh.
But it's on
we've
video.
Had a horrible mistake.
Wait, that's you.
I timed it incorrectly.
Man,
I thought it was going to be the gun to be masked.
No,
it was not masked. And now I wish more than anything I had a mask.
No, we're gonna just say that. No,
No.
absolutely not. No, no.
Amanda, I'm not paying for the full version of Zoom anymore, so we're about to get cut off.
yeah.
I'm going to send you a new link, and we'll meet back up and talk second part. Is that cool? In honor
Right now,
of you and the Jericho
because I
Cruise,
just
I'm having the
6
Sonic Ocean water
things.
with vodka. Oh, you brought your slush.
I'll tell you.
Of course she did.
Brought your slush maker.
The Windy Chew looking. Someone kept calling. No, this isn't the slush maker. This is my wannabe Windy Chew.
Oh, it's just the Windy Chew
This
thermos.
is a sponsor. This is my Windy Chew thermos, sponsored, not sponsored by Stanley. Now, I'd love a
How
sponsorship.
great would it be, though,
but
if you had brought the slush maker and as people gave you drinks, you poured it into your cup and just stirred it?
yeah, but the problem is with that is you have to freeze it, and you can only maybe get 2 out of it before it won't do it anymore. I'd say 1.5, but anyways, no. So someone kept calling me Windy Chew already, and I'm like, I take that as a compliment because
I feel like it is.
I love, and I'm trained. So, technically, I could have put my pineapple onesie on, but that's for the last night. So no, but I am drinking H2O. No slushy, but only reason why. Well, yeah, we did the bar crawl, and I will say this: this time they do have alcoholic slushies. There's a sangria and a or I don't know, it's a cocktail. You know,
slush. Is it a peacock tail on this?
I haven't had them yet. No, it's just like looks kind of orangey, but I don't know what it is. The sangria was like purple, and I asked people who had it because it just looked kind of whatnot. I did not buy the alcohol package, but
you did not buy the alcohol package. That'd be the first thing I would have bought. For me, I'd be like, how much is the alcohol package, and then what comes with it? That would be my second question. I'd say, starting with the alcohol package, then what?
It was $3.95 per person, I think, or $3.80, whatever. That all the gratuities were included. No, but I will say this: all these women see him on TV and think he's a good-looking guy. I mean, I personally did not find him attractive until today. Ooh, his wife is so beautiful. They make a beautiful couple.
Who?
They're gonna have beautiful children. Wardlow.
Wardlow? You didn't think Wardlow was a good-looking dude? That's crazy. What's the matter with you?
No, you know me. Look who I like.
That's a good point.
Yeah, some people might say it. Also, I will say that this next one, I will say, if any of our listeners, watchers, whatevers, want to go on this thing, well, first of all, I think Marsh and producer lady should go. I really do. And second, I think that listeners of our show, I will give you a special code that you can use, and you can get, I believe it's $100, maybe $150 off per person. More details to come.
Okay. Yeah.
But we'll do that. So it's my sponsor, not sponsored.
No, sounds good.
Because we have to have that angle. But yeah. And they do a bar crawl apparently every year. So
apart from
yeah,
your sit down with Nick, you got to meet Cardona, which I noticed you suspiciously never posted a picture of. Who else did you get to run into and talk to? It was good.
Oh, well, the picture I don't like, that will never surface. But I'll show you individually. I do have another one, but it's not on my camera, so that's why it's not there. Or if it was on I was thinking, God, this guy's thinking. And then we got posters because they didn't have them when we went to the autograph thing. And at first, I'm like, well, I don't have anything to autograph. I don't do figures. I don't bring shit, right?
Yeah.
And at first, the poster, I don't want to get it because the one from the last cruise is still in the trunk of my car in the tube.
Yeah.
But now it's on the under where I have to lift and whatever. And one of my friends gave me one of two of these posters of it's Phil and Colt back when they were teasing that they were trying to WWE Films was trying to make a movie. So
Wow.
it was kind of they wanted to do the Marine Citizens on Patrol.
Okay.
Because buddy comedy, whatever, but yeah, because they were going to make him the Marine, I think. That doesn't make sense. CM Punk the Marine, what the fuck?
He doesn't look.
That's somebody's bad.
Like a Marine.
No, and it's like you had Cena. Well, Miz doesn't really look like a Marine, and he was the Marine for quite a long time.
He could get away with it, but yeah, he's got more of a clean cut look like a Marine might have.
Yeah. Yes. Ran into met Top Light. Those guys are damn good. Damn good in person. This is my first time seeing him. Who else did I meet? Nyla Rose. Absolutely beautiful.
Very good.
Love her. Moose made fun of my T-Rex arms.
Very good.
Yep. I was like, oh, because I was going to take a picture of Moose. And I was like, there was nobody around. He goes, girl, I'll take it. And I go, okay, you sure? And he goes, I have a wingspan built for selfies. And then I'm like, yeah, my little T-Rex arms are jealous. And I did my little move. He cracked up and he's so it was funny to make him laugh. Jay Lethal had asked him and Satnam Singh where Sanjay, and Lethal was like, no, he claims that he didn't want to take his kids out of school. And I'm like, dude, this would have been free vacation. Everything was free. He goes, I know, I told him that.
Yeah.
I said, didn't you even say, well, Colt's been on this thing twice, and hey, the only reason why is because it was free. And Lethal laughed. He goes, yeah. He's like, why did you guys pull off like that? I go, Jay, we know. Come on. And we were just laughing about it. Satnam Singh, we took the photo. I told him, I thanked him. I said, I want to thank you for making me look tall in this photo. And he just laughed at me. He's like, anytime. I come up to his belly button when he stands up. I'm like, holy Jesus Christ, this man is huge. Real huge dude. Nice man.
My brother took a picture of one of his friends meeting the Street Profits. My brother's 5'2". So when they took the picture, I was like, oh, this is great for you guys. It's that almost shot from really low. So you guys are all three going to look like giants with him taking this picture. And they all were like, what?
Wait, is he really 5'2"?
Yeah, my brother's 5'2".
No.
Yeah. So when he takes pictures of people, it's at a high angle. So I was like, you guys
apparently
are
we're going to get midget wrestling.
Yeah. Well, he's not on the boat, so.
Well, we're getting midget wrestling. Brad Williams versus Hornswoggle. I don't know when that's happening, but I know it's happening.
That's cool. Cool. So this is your second day on the cruise, or wait, you left on Wednesday, so this is like your third day on the cruise, right?
No. My second day on the cruise. I left on a red eye, and it was in Miami for 2 days before because the flights were cheaper.
Oh, okay.
I need. But yeah.
How long does the cruise go till? When are you back?
Tomorrow we were supposed to be at NCL's private island, but we're in a storm. Why the captain is driving us into a storm, I have no idea. I have thoughts of Titanic, Poseidon Adventure, the
Disney
cruise
Princess
I've been
Crim
on
comes to mind
before. Yeah. So Yeah, but we'll see. So now the schedule's all changed. I don't know what the weather's like because I don't know where the boat is going. So
Yeah.
we're
So when you
we're
when you
not adrift.
scheduled,
I
when were
don't know
you
where.
originally scheduled to be back in Florida or back home? Really, when were you scheduled to
Uh,
be back in California?
well, my flight, we come back to port on Monday, and I was leaving on Tuesday
Okay, so now we're not sure.
because I didn't. It's like you get off the boat and I have you. Are you there?
Yeah,
Are you there?
yeah, I'm here. I
Hello.
hear. We got you. Your audio's coming in.
You hold on.
Your video's frozen
Okay.
a lot, but your
Okay.
audio's still coming
It's
through. You're fine.
rocky here for a minute. So okay. Um, it's I think it's the rockiness.
Could
So
be.
it's making the camera whatever. But yeah, come on Monday because with flying to San Francisco, it's either 8:30 in the morning and then the next two flights aren't until like almost 8 o'clock at night or
Mm,
whatnot. And I don't like Miami. Yeah. So I'd rather stay the night and fly out the first thing the next morning. So that's what I prefer to do. So interesting. Who else did we the acclaimed
mhm,
Platinum Max Caster. He did a show. I enjoyed it. And I'm
mhm.
actually going to go to his show Revolution weekend. So, yay on that one. Anthony Bowens, I did say this to him. When you come, don't call San Francisco Frisco. Don't,
Yeah.
don't call us stupid things like that. NorCal, don't be doing that. If you're gonna do anything, it's yay area. And you gotta say it like how the people do, like E40, go, yay area. We gotta get that. And I said the whole place will explode, you know, you gotta do it that way. Like, promise me you'll do it that way. So if he says yay area, then you know where it came from.
Mhm. Yep.
You heard it on
Yep.
episode one. Okay.
Yep. Keep an eye
Um,
out.
who had good conversations with, and a couple good conversations with different people. I saw Flip. I don't have I didn't get a photo with him.
Oh.
But I saw him the first day. Big old hug, talking to him about things. Because he's obviously the champ. I think the finals are going to be Matt Cardona versus Flip Gordon for
Oh, that could be
the.
cool.
They're calling it, I think, the All Atlantic, whatever. So I think that'll be really fun. And Cardona worked a great heel. People hate him here. You hear the
Mm,
oh fuck you, Cardona, all that other
that's
stuff.
funny.
And then I'm like, you need to put respect on. That's Mister 13 out of 500. Yep, on the PWI Insider, people were looking at me. He made mention of it, and I was like, "Thank you." Yeah,
Yep.
take care and spike your hair. I think I did that wrong. It's like Michigan. So no, I did it right. LI. The LI. Okay, anyways. Hi. But Luchasaurus walking around unmasked. But Luchasaurus is lame. Whatever. Um, I really do not like no magic Mike, whoever that is, and his other tag team partner, the ones that got fired from NXT or
Yeah.
they weren't invited back. Who was it? Everrise?
Oh, 2.0?
I
No,
don't
2.0 is on AEW.
2.0?
Yeah. Or you're right. It
Yeah,
was Everrise, and
those.
then now there's 2.0 on AEW.
Yeah, no, now they're the Jazz part
Yeah,
of the
and one other
Jazz.
jazz. Yeah.
Yeah, I keep seeing Daniel Garcia, but I'm like, I see him in San Francisco, so whatever. Sammy walked by with his wife, and everyone's cheering him, and I'm like, "Fuck you, you little piece of shit!" And everyone booed me. I'm like, whatever. You
That's
get
funny.
fat shamed by that motherfucker. No wonder Eddie punched you in the fucking mouth. I have
Yeah.
not gotten to tell Eddie
Yeah.
thank you for all the people from all the people in the world. Little piece of shit. So yeah, so that was interesting. No Nick Gage,
No Gage. Was he
and they
supposed to be
didn't
there?
announce that. Yes, he and Luther um were supposed to Jericho have and somebody else, I can't remember who, a whole podcast about for Talk Jericho about the anatomy of a death match. And who better than the god of this shit? hmm
Hmm.
Nick fucking Gage. No. But I got a little more sad when Fozzy, because tonight Fozzy did their cover show.
Yeah.
Here's newsflash. So the first night Jericho always does on the cruise, Fozzy does a set when we sail away. And where I was sitting, because the speakers are horrible, it sounded like he lip synced.
I mean, that's the
I
rumor.
would not be
That's what people
surprised.
say. People have been
He
saying that for
did,
a while now.
but he did his cover song today. Oh, he sounded like shit. So he tried to do
That's the other rumor about
Highway
him.
to Hell. That was the first one. Oh, that was bad. What? What's the other rumor? What's the other rumor?
The other rumor is
Am
that
I
he's
not coming
awful
in?
at singing. That he sounds like shit. If he's not lip singing, he sounds terrible. Those are the two
That's why.
things I've. Yeah.
And why he gives Sebastian Bach shit, who's spitting truth? No
So
idea.
funny.
I
So
love
funny.
Sebastian Bach.
So good. I get
But
into it.
I, yeah, no, but they did that to cover that. What I did not they usually is covered. They're great, but when he did For Whom the Bell Tolls, Metallica, I was like, I was all hoping that Nick would wrestle a match because I would have been the only one who that probably got kicked out because they wouldn't have known what I was doing. You know how
What?
Nick Gage makes his entrances and everyone just like it's like
Did
mosh pit.
you ask Nick Aldis or get any insight on where we
Mhm.
can see him next that's not Stampede in fucking Canada? Because he's Bret Hart's champion for Bret's new little promotion. But outside of that, does he have any plans on showing up anywhere?
I think he's taking some time off because I had made a comment, I think,
Yeah.
and it wasn't me like information. It was just more now what's the next thing? And I think he said, he says it's been nice not to be working.
Yeah.
And and
Yeah.
whatnot. But I mean, who knows? It could be I think personally, if it's not for him exclusively with Ring of Honor, then he might hang it up. I don't know. Because I don't see him on Impact.
Yeah, going back to Impact would be
They're not
kind of
really.
weird. Ring of Honor could be
Yeah.
interesting, but a little weird. It's really weird because
Yeah.
he brought himself up to a point where it's kind of like WWE or bust, but he also didn't seem to bring him up to a point where it would make where you really think he's going to make it to WWE. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but like especially when you hear like Bruce Pritchard talk about him on his podcast, he's not impressed with Nick, and he's not shy about it. So it's just one of those things where it's all like, I don't know, like you don't want him to step down, you don't want him just to step aside. He's in a tough spot. And he's got to figure that out, I guess.
Yeah. But I think, like I said, he had told me, he was going to run his end was at that year Power started, and he was giving it another year, give it that try. And he says Sometimes, and he told me this. He says, sometimes I feel like, man, I shouldn't have done it. And,
He also shot
and I
himself in the
asked,
foot, though. Like, as much as NWA killed their momentum by putting all of their shit behind a paywall, like, that was bad. When they did, like, the Patreon exclusive content and there was nothing coming out except for that paywall only, I was part of a couple group
mm-hmm,
chats and we started calling it, like, NWA only fans. Like, I forget, I called it something else. It was like only NWA or something like that. Like, we were just goofing off about it because it was like, you have to pay for everything here. That shot them in the foot. But then Nick was going on all these interviews saying, like, yeah, if you're worth it, then they pay you. These people who aren't getting paid are just because they're not worth it. Like, he started really shitting on everybody in the company, and you're like, what the fuck? Then he shitted on Dave Marquez, and you're like, what the fuck? So it was a whole thing
yeah,
where you just kind of go, like, everything spiraled out of control, and I don't know if he positioned himself that well. So I don't know, and I hope the best for him. But
yeah, we'll see what happens.
we'll see what happens. We'll see what pops up. If you want in the next couple days at all to do any more
Mhm.
recaps of what's going on, then we can just attach it to this. This is going to drop where our normal Thursday show would be, just as a little, this
Yeah,
is what's going on the
I
cruise.
will.
So if you want to send even little video updates,
Yeah,
long or short or whatever, we'll just attach it to the whole thing. And then depending on what you talk about, maybe we'll bring it up.
I'm trying to see if I can get some people maybe so we can throw in a little bit more people in the intro about
That'd be
drinking
cool.
with us.
Yeah,
That'd be really cool.
that'd be
I
great.
think I'm gonna hit up Shida when I see her again. Just like, you want to do it because she was awesome. And then the bear, I'm like, I'll make him come back out just for that. I was going to get Ricky to do it, which I'll grab him at whenever. Him and I think ODB might be good too. I keep seeing her everywhere. I love her.
Whatever you get,
Your
let
eyes
us
are
know.
shifting.
There was
Of
a
course.
number of things with ODB that I did not love, but you know, it is what it is.
What did you not love? Well, she and I took a picture. We're boob grabbing.
I know, and
So
it's funny, and she's fine. There
yeah.
was something about, especially the nature of wrestling being what it is. I remember my first exposure to her really was her in some sort of battle royal type thing where she was like drinking out of a flask on the way out to the ring,
Oh yeah, yeah.
which is also a little bit different because I know that you could always make the correlation to Stone Cold or Sandman. Stone Cold drank after the match. He would have beers, and Sandman would shotgun one beer on the way to the ring, but he wouldn't even have much of it before he smashed it. This was a portrayal of her having hard liquor and much of it before wrestling. And I just think we're a little too far into our actual knowledge for
Mm-hmm.
me to think, how great is this? Here comes a sloppy drunk to get in the ring and put their life at risk. You know what I mean? Like, we're just too far along to where I was kind of like, I don't love this. But
No,
I've only heard good things about
it
her, and I've
worked
never
because
met her, so I'm not trying to like knock her as a
she,
person or anything.
as a person, she is phenomenal. One of the things that she did kind of, I don't say it was retirement because, well, it really wasn't at the time, is she started making barbecue sauce.
Yep,
Just
and she had
Jerry's,
a
and I think
food truck.
hers is better than theirs, but whatever. Not because Jerry uses the word Oriental, but
Yeah,
yep. And now she's got more. She was telling that because her original Airstream caught
yeah,
fire, burnt down,
caught fire. Yep.
and then she got another one. Now she has she is from Minnesota and she's still living there. And now she's starting to do these things where it's almost like like a food truck kind of
Yep.
almost like festival
Yeah.
things. And she's like,
And I've
yeah,
heard the
I
food truck's
invite,
great
a
food
lot of
too. I
different
have heard
wrestlers
that.
up there. She goes, she's worked with or what barbecue. Excellent. Because that's why I was talking to her about it. Because I've known God, I've met her so many times over the years, so she always kind of recognizes me. Because I was like, when I had her barbecue, because she convinced me, and it was Orlando WrestleCon, right? And right then she was trying to convince Colt, and he didn't have anything. He was like, no, 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 that's not my thing. I'm like, I'm dragging you. You're gonna go. So and
Was it pork?
it was really delish. But she's all. She had pulled pork, and she had a brisket as well.
Because Cole
but the
can't have
problem
pork,
with
I
the
don't think.
brisket is that was the first thing that sold. No, he does not eat pork. He doesn't eat anything from the sea. I love it when he says it that way. Like,
That's funny.
okay, yeah, but yeah, no. He actually, I've seen Cole eat pork, but I'm not going to go there. I'm
Hey,
not going to put him
whoa,
on
don't
blast.
call him out on like that. Come on now.
Yeah, okay, I'll keep it behind the curtain.
I lived with a vegan once, and I had to help him clean up all the chicken wing and rib bones from his room before he brought his vegan girlfriend home one time. But whatever.
Well, those who can do, I guess. But yeah, no, I mean, I already getting a lot of some insider information about some things. Asking Flip, hey, are you have any prospects? And he's like, actually, right now, I'm enjoying being a free agent. I'm making more money, and yeah, I mean, so, and he
Here's
said
the thing with that, though.
He is working on something.
Here's the thing that I know. Scarlett and Karrion Kross both said that within 3 months they were making more money than they made in a year on the main roster in WWE. However, when WWE called, they showed up. I do think that there's something to, hey, I'm making more money right now than I would there. But I also think that there's just the undeniable factor of this platform could make the second phase that I'm on the indies even bigger. You know what I mean? So as much as people say like, I'm really enjoying not being signed to them, to me, that sounds all like they haven't asked. You know what I mean? Like,
no, with Flip, he said, people ask, but he's happy doing his own thing right now.
Yeah.
And not only that, he said, but, he's got some things up his sleeve. And I go, oh. And he says, him and Marty. So leave it at that.
So Flip was a trainer here locally in Tucson for a company called CLW that ended up selling itself off during pandemic, but it was also like co-owned by James Ellsworth for a while. But Flip was like their main trainer when they were doing courses. So it'd be cool to see him come through again. But
very nice. Yeah, I love. Yeah,
I say is the
I love him, and so it was great.
Go ahead.
So it was great to see Flip. It'd been a very long time.
Yeah, you hadn't seen him in a while. I say as the weeks go on, keep sending pictures, keep getting videos, compile. We'll drop it all at once. And if sometime during the next day or two you wanted to sit down and talk more about any crazy stories coming up, just hit me up and let me know. We'll record them and we'll make this a big old super show.
Of course. So I did get so Flip and Marty right now are in talks with Noah. Go anywhere. Noah to do the junior global tag league.
Yeah.
I hope that happens.
That could be cool.
It'll be a big thing.
It's crazy how much cool shit Noah's been doing this year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Muda's final run being through Noah was pretty fucking cool. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I'll hit you up with that. And the other thing too with Flip, I think that the reason why he's not, because he's been doing a bunch of stuff with AAA.
Yeah.
Or he will be.
We saw him when we were there. When he was in.
And Phoenix, there's something going on. Yeah, that's right. He was there. Okay. There's also, I think, there's something about them, AAA, and AEW that's not gelling. Right. So
AAA and AEW seem to be having quite a split. And we noticed that when we were there too. The only person AEW at all was Penta. And that was just because Penta's the biggest star they got. And I was like, it's really peculiar with Penta here that no other AEW talent made it out, especially considering the FTR at the time held the titles. It's like something's up. And then the next AEW show that had the next AAA show that had AEW talent, all the AEW talent dropped their titles. And you're like, something's up. Something's up. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Who knows?
Yeah. So not a surprise that you heard that there's a little bit of a rift.
But yeah,
so.
no. Yeah, no. I'm not shocked, but the more that's more interesting for me was really the Noah thing, if that's really true and in the works. Yeah. That's a big thing. If Noah picks me, that's a huge thing. Yeah. Hate to say it. I'll be excited, but yeah, it sucks. Yeah.
Well, I'd be interested.
And I asked about I kind of asked about what with AAA, like with Marty and stuff. And I think he might be, who knows? He might be, who knows? Who's to say? But it'll be very interesting. So I think that we're coming out of a lot of this stupidness. So it'll be good times.
Could be. Mm-hmm. I wonder if Marty would show up in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I know that he's willing, but I wonder if he will, because the whole Nick thing out there and all the Bret Hart stuff going on. I wonder if he would, if they would take him on too, because that'd be interesting.
Maybe that may be
out there.
Yeah, that
all
may
right,
be,
Amanda.
But you never know.
You never know.
All right, sir. It is 2:30 in the morning here. I'm gonna pass out. I did take my war paint off.
You did the best you could. You rocked it. You killed it.
Yeah.
You had a good drinking time with new drinking buddies. We welcome every new drinking buddy who comes through.
Yeah, we love you if you came from, please, if you did come because you were curious about us from the Jericho Cruise, please let us know. You can 100%. Find him at, whichever way you are, at Ref Marsh on your social media channels. We know mine at MsAmandaJayne.
With a Y.
Yeah. Yeah, with a Y. Yeah. And I think it's probably last call because I'm fading.
It's definitely the last call tonight. We'll see if this is part one of a 4-part series. We'll see how it all plays out. But this is gonna wrap up this portion of whatever this is. So we'll see what comes of it. Amanda, thanks for calling.
Cheers.
Thanks for letting me know what's going on.
No problem.
It's really cool. Really cool. Talk to you soon.
Hi, drinking buddies. It's your old pal, MsAmandaJayne. And no, I'm not coming to live as we normally do on Thursdays because I'm on the fucking Jericho Cruise. So, to all my drinking buddies, miss you, wish you were here.
And everybody likes you.
Good morning, my drinking buddies. It is your favorite person on the Jericho Cruise. Sponsored, not sponsored. Honestly, I think we need to be sponsored. This is us. Drinking and wrestling. I don't know. Anyways, so I am representing us today at this autograph signing with our Wrestling on the Rocks episode 1. Again, some dumb mark thought, oh, I love that Star Wars movie. Like, do you know how to read? Come on. And then someone did ask me, why is it again? And I'm like, because our thing is we can't go to number 2 until we get it right. And also, I did encounter someone who was a listener, drinking buddy. I didn't get their name, but I said, come in the chat. Derail us. You know the drill. So, my friends, it's going to be a good day. We're going to get autographs, and I don't get autographs, so don't have anything to claim. But my drinking friends, I'm doing it sober. The day is a little early. But remember, it's not about what you my Thursday night drinking gang. The second day of the Jericho Cruise. And you know who I am. At MsAmandaJayne. Thought I'd give you some scoopies. So, there is no wrestling tonight. Because it's pouring rain. Sorry, it came from California. I know it did. I don't like rain anymore. But anyways, nonetheless, tomorrow we're getting a Swerve concert, which I'm excited about. I don't know if we're going to get the wrestling replaced. I hope so. Or if not, they're going to have to discount me money. But whatever. Anyways, so tonight's #1 fan night. I'm going to let you guess who I'm dressed as. Do you need a hint? I'll do one hint for you. If you guess Colt Cabana, you're wrong. I think you know who I am. That should have given it away. Anyways, so just a little reminder, as I've said before in episode 1, a lot of people listen. So, friends, as I enjoy my non-alcoholic beverage, it's not what you're drinking, but who you're drinking with. And hopefully, we can get some sponsored, not sponsored. That'd be really nice. Cheers!
Here saying I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Nice! Well, hello, my drinking buddies. Guess what? Holy shit! That's the sixth man bear. Hi! This is for my podcast. It's called Wrestling on the Rocks. It's a drinking and wrestling podcast.
Yeah.
So basically we get drunk and talk shit.
Bears like to drink.
Hell yeah! You're a buddy. Come by. Stop by. Yep, we do it live Thursday. Well, Thursdays is my show. All right. I gotta. Oh wow! Teamwork. Go! Look, hold on, guys. Look, teamwork makes the dream work. All right. Marsh is gonna have to edit the fuck out of this, but anyways, I think we're on drink 1, or I had 2 from the last ones. I'm on 5. And I say, at first I was talking shit about it. I said, yo, a lot of money for nothing, but woo. And here's Shida. She's lovely. I love her new ring gear. I think I told you guys that. But anyways, loving Shida. And, whoa. Teddy. There's the bear. There you go. Go. This is wild. Yeah. Let me get Shida on here really quick. We're going to just show Shida. Shida, I love Shida. By the way, this is my little podcast. We're going to edit it. It's called Wrestling on the Rocks. And I just want to say, your gear yesterday was amazing. Well, first of all, the match was amazing. But your new gear is so beautiful. Oh, thank you so much. So she's now hopefully converted to be a drinking buddy, because I think, how many of you had a lot of these drinks? 5 or something. Oh, see? Yeah, see? So officially she's a drinking buddy. So we gotta go. But bye, guys. Bye. Thank you. Hey, drinking buddies. So this is the last day of the cruise, but this is kind of an awesome day. Why? I will tell you why. Because I have a little special guest. And I'm hoping that one of our original drinking buddies is going to see this. So, this is Johnny.
Hi.
And Johnny, there's one thing that I'd mentioned. Where are you from?
Oklahoma.
So, who is our original drinking buddy from Oklahoma?
Sam Stackhouse.
Woo woo. Yes. So, Sam, you've got a lot of fans out here, even on the Jericho Cruise, because we love you.
Yep.
And you know what? Remember, guys, it's not about what you're drinking. It's always about who you're drinking with.
That was MsAmandaJayne live from the boat. How crazy cool was that? The boat's over, though, and there's still more to tell. So we've got her back. Let's say hello and cheers to MsAmandaJayne. How you doing, Miss
Well,
MsAmandaJayne?
hello. Hello. I'm back on land.
Welcome to the shore. Ahoy.
You know, I'll tell you, the seas were rough.
Mhm.
We missed a night of wrestling.
Really?
But
there was a whole night that got
all
canceled
in-
because of the waves and such?
Oh, it started pouring. Oh my gosh. So usually on Saturday nights, or a couple nights in, depending upon, whatever. Fozzy always does, and this is my favorite of his shows, is they do covers. I'm not a fan of Fozzy, obviously.
That could be cool.
Yeah.
I went to one of my favorite nights of karaoke ever was when I went with a guy who was the lead of, well, I mean, he's a one-man guy. He's got a band, but he's like a metal guy, like
Oh, wow.
classic rock, Motley Crue kind of dude. Matter of fact,
Nice.
the first time I heard his first album, he had a song by Motley Crue on the album that I had not heard. And then when I
Oh.
heard it on a commercial, I thought it was him. Like, that's how pinpoint he was accurate with his own voice on that track, right?
Whoa.
So yeah, I went to karaoke with him one time and it was fucking amazing. I was like, this dude is so good. So yeah, I can only imagine
Well,
cover
let
night's
me
got to be
tell
fun.
you, karaoke with apparently this time they didn't have a karaoke host. Okay, I've
Mhm.
seen Party Marty Scroll host karaoke on the first cruise. The second one I did not go on, so I don't know who hosted that one night.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, the third one, Ocean Spray, hosted that. That was not as fun as Marty. Sorry. Remember, that's Skrull, taxes. Skrull beats Osprey. Always. And then this one was just people randomly going up and doing things. So we got, apparently Daniel Garcia went, and I don't know what he's saying, but everyone said it was pretty bad. I know there's got to be video somewhere. A lot of people did sing. I think I want to say Nyla got up there. The one that I only heard part of it and I was just kind of dying laughing, so I need to rewatch it, and I'll find it for you guys, was Eddie Kingston doing Lionel Richie's Hello.
That's got to be good.
Now, on episode 1, I think we've maybe more than one episode 1. I don't know how we talked about Eddie Kingston's, how AEW makes him a bitch. Oh boy.
Yeah.
This doesn't help his case. I love you, Eddie, but he loved my pineapple outfit too. He just couldn't stop laughing about it.
Yeah, pineapple
yes,
onesie was pretty sick. When you said you had a pineapple onesie before, I thought you meant like Wendy Chu style, a onesie that had pineapples printed on it. And then when we saw
No.
the first picture of you with Danhausen, we're like, oh no, that's a pineapple. Like,
It's a pineapple with a little face on it.
Got the little face,
And
a little
I
green
had-
thing on top.
You know what? You didn't see it in the Danhausen photo, but I'll actually show you one that is the whole pineapple, and I actually have pineapple slippers on.
That's awesome.
They're actual pineapples. They look more like strawberries that are yellow, but they call them pineapples, but whatever. But it was very amusing. Apparently, Nyla Rose loves onesies. Ruby Soho loved it. She was like, oh my God, this is great. And I asked her, is it softer? I said, you can feel free to touch. I said, is it softer than the Bucky's one that she had to wear on Ethan Page's podcast, not podcast, video thing? And she said, yeah. She goes, that thing was itchy. So totally get it. It was way too humid and hot because on that last day, I mean, we had bad weather, and then the last day in the morning, it was really beautiful, and then it got funky. But people were very amused by it. So I was supposed to go find Nyla, but I was going to say, Nyla, look, if you just wait right here, I'll go throw it on so we can take a picture, because apparently she loves onesies, and she is amazing. Her and her wife, just absolutely amazing people. A lot of good people, a lot of assholes, but you know, it's all good. Even Daniel Garcia, when we think he's kind of funky, he actually is a pretty good comedic wrestler. You would not like a lot of this cruise, Marsh. The wrestling, you would have been, oh God. But I will say, to be fair, Daniel Garcia, he brought his mom. Look at that. You know, certain other people could bring their mom, but no. But anyways, but that was cool. So shout out to Daniel Garcia's mom. It was really cool. But yeah, the pineapple was a hit. No one else dressed like fruit. They had Care Bears and whatnot, but no one was fruit.
So what else happened on that the cruise? Because you'd said there's a few stories you wanted to tell.
Oh yeah, there's lots of great stories. Then they have some, you know, good things, bad things. I know we didn't chat with the last day of wrestling because we had 2 matches that day. Sadly, Flip Gordon is not the Oceanic champion of whatever they call the belt. It's a beautiful belt. It's got the, you know, like Triton's, you know, whatever the frick Triton has. I don't know. Is it a staff? I don't know. It's a really cool belt. I think it was coral colored, but it's online. So, but guess who won it? Surprise, surprise. The belt collector. So now he's King of the Sea. Good Lord.
Kenny?
What is the King of Deathmatch? The King of the Sea? What?
Do you want to? Are you talking about Kenny Omega, the belt collector?
No.
That was his whole gimmick.
No, I'm talking about Cardona. He beat Flip Gordon in the Oceanic.
Cardona. Cardona doesn't call himself that, so you have to use names.
No. But now he's calling himself Cardona. Not only is he the King of Deathmatch, but he's now the King of the Sea.
That's cool.
I mean, what else can he be the king of?
The internet, which he does.
He already is.
Yeah.
He's got that belt. So
yeah.
That belt is sweet for someone who like fangirled Zack Ryder. Woo woo woo. That belt was, seeing it in person brought a tear to my eye. It was pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie.
Look like, did you get a bump into him a second time? Is that what that other picture was?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
That was it was an autograph signing. So I had my episode 1 shirt, and he's like, "Oh man, that Star Wars shirt." I go, "It's not a Star Wars shirt." Nope. So actually, we probably might get a few more wrestling listeners because of it. The shirt. That's not what my goal was. I just wanted people to be aware of who we are, because you know, some people like to, you know, spread their podcast shit on, you know, AEW television, and me, I was just walking around with the shirt on because I wanted to walk around with the shirt on.
Yeah.
You know?
Sounds good.
So a lot of people like really kind of enjoyed that. I know one person who was asking me a lot of questions about it was Wardlow. I'm like the Wardlow Appreciation Society over here. The guy is a really cool dude. Here's a great story. So apparently at the autograph signing, he had a gal, really, really big fan. But because of the time, they were like, "Oh, you know what? We're over at this time." And Wardlow basically was like, "No. I will stay here until every fan that wants to meet me has come by." Right? So the 6 Men people were not all about that. But he did, and he really won a lot of people over. I mean, this guy is very, very humble. His wife is so sweet and amazing. Shout out to Brittany. And what was great was there was a girl who just missed him, and they told her she couldn't go in because they were only serving whoever they had with the tickets. So she was a little upset, but somebody had ran into him and told them, "Hey, there was this girl who was wanting to go meet you and get your autograph," because I guess she hadn't seen him around the boat. And so the guy described exactly what she looked like. And he and his wife made a mission to find this girl. And then they saw the guy again and was like, "Do you have like a picture of her?" And he goes, "You know what? She's in one of my pictures. Let me show you." So then they saw what she looked like and they found her, and he spent a good like 30 minutes with her. That's
cool.
like amazing to me. I mean, when I heard that story, I was already blown away with Wardlow, but now I'm like, dude, he gets it. Talk about this guy when he makes it really, really big, it's because of how he is and his reputation.
Yeah.
And I think I've said before in episode 1, that's really what it's all about, you know. But when you're kind of an asshole, like, oh, Jade Cargill,
Oh,
no,
yeah?
this was an interesting one. This is where I'm like, I don't know. So Jade Cargill won't sign anything. Who wants her signature? I don't. It's because she's under the whole, people are going to sell my signature and all this bullshit and make money off of me. There's some people who don't want to do that. I wouldn't, but now that you say it, I will if I ever did
Also,
it.
yeah, but also I think that that's such a fucked up mentality to have in general, right? Like,
Yes.
for one, you're already saying that the only person who can make money off you is you, which is fine to a degree, but also you signed a contract with another company that's going to make money off you, right?
Mhm.
But it also, like, it alienates a lot of your fans who kind of just want that little memento. It can drive the value of your signature up to a degree, but it can also drive desire for it down. Like, it's just kind
Mhm.
of one of those fucked up things where it's also like, who the fuck are you to say, right? Like, if
Yeah.
somebody is a
Um,
fan and a collector, now you're just being a jerk. If somebody wants to flip your signature, what business is that to you? I get it with guys like The Undertaker. There's a very specific trading card he will not sign because
oh,
he knows
really?
the value of it is going to be crazy if he does. It's like the first ever trading card of his, and he just won't sign it because it's like the rookie card, and he wants the opposite. He wants his signature obtainable. He wants
Mhm.
it valuable but attainable. So he doesn't want it priced into these millionaires' hands kind of a deal because that's a whole other market, right? So he'll sign just
Mhm.
about anything except that card because
Yeah. Well, it's weird.
she's trying to make it
Like
so her
I
signature is
can't.
not attainable. Okay, then fuck
Mhm.
off. I'm not interested in you, you know?
Well, what they did was they had some people do photo session and some people do autograph. They didn't
Yeah.
do both. You did one or the other. Now, I will say that in her case, people would buy like what I did is I bought a poster because you know what, before on these cruises, I never went to the autograph sessions or anything like that or the
Yeah.
picture things. I was too either whatever, but I was with someone who kind of convinced me to do it and I said, "Okay." So I did it, and what was at the first one, I was like, "Oh shit, I don't have anything to sign." Well, what was dumb was the merch store wasn't open until 10 and the thing was like at 10. So I'm like, "Okay, well, maybe they'll have posters for sale or something downstairs." Didn't. They brought them in late. So I'd already gone through most of the line, but at the time when I went in, they were letting us take pictures, but then it was
Yeah.
holding people up. And then you had guys that brought in a whole shitload of stuff to get signed by one guy.
Yeah.
And, I get it with the autograph thing. I totally get that. And I know, like, yeah, if you got this whole poster with everybody that signed it, yeah, you could flip it and make a lot of money off of it. But
Potentially.
reality of the whole thing is that, that's going to be hard because first of all, if you see Chris walking around the boat, he is not going to sign anything for you. Okay, he's
Really?
got like 2 bodyguards with him usually and whatnot. Like, I couldn't even get in an elevator because they were going upstairs to the Haven. I'm like, "Oh, whatever, dude. All I wanted to do was go to 13. I'm not even going to fucking 14. Give me a break. I don't
Yeah.
care. Whatever." You know. But I get it. But there's a whole bunch of people nowadays, and I'm going to call them out right now. Ricky was one of them on the boat. And this is
Mm,
my message to Ricky is, you know, you're not at the point where you can be a dick like that because the bottom line is at your photo sessions, the second session, only 5 people went up to him. 5.
mm, mm,
That's sad. Jade, people actually wanted to see her the second session, but she only had like maybe 15 on the first one. Same with Ricky, total. She didn't show up till 5 minutes before they were done.
mm.
That told me, I'm like, you know what? I don't know why you have 50 wins, no losses, and still have that belt. You must be really doing something to Tony Khan or something because you're not
It's
worth
also kind
that.
of shitty because the idea of the boat and how it was always pitched was that it's all inclusive. You get to go there, you get a place, you get some like you said with the booze card, you can do the booze one. But the idea was that like no one was going to be charging for autographs or photos. You're just going to be able to mingle with them and get those things. Now, I feel like that there should have been obviously a rule of limitations so people don't show up with 100 things in a tote and say Matt Cardona signed all this and he has to. It's one thing to say like, hey, you
Yeah,
can get a signature and a photo or two if you guys are seen bumping around, but
yeah,
like
yeah.
to
Most,
hear that
yeah.
people that they had their own floor so they could avoid people, to hear that uh they were showing up late or refusing to do stuff, it like really undermines the idea and the value of it. You know what I mean?
Mhm,
Well, if all the top stars
yeah.
are going to refuse anyways, what am I doing? And if they're going to hide until they
Mhm,
have to be there, who am I mingling with? You know what I mean?
mhm. Well, the first cruise, and I can't speak for the second one, but the first cruise, the people who were in the quote unquote the Haven, which is kind of like that, club level kind of thing, you have to have a
Yeah.
key and whatnot, were like Kenny Omega, the Bucks, obviously Jericho. There were those people,
Yeah, but
right?
that's also a problem. That's a problem. You guys are the reason people are there. They want to see you.
Yeah,
They want to bump into you. They want to
yeah.
buy you a
But the
drink.
Bucks, but the Young Bucks were around. Kenny was
Uh-huh.
very elusive, but that's Kenny Omega and whatnot. But and Jericho, you'd see him; he'd be around, you know. But there were opportunities for photos with Jericho and things like that. Now, other cool thing, but what was great was the access. Now, all the other wrestlers, none of them, and this is on all the cruises I went on, were in like that private area because the first year, the deck I was on, everybody was on that deck. Like Hangman, literally, like I would bump into him, Jay Lethal, Santana and Ortiz, Jerry Lawler. I had them all on my floor, like all of them. And at one point I kept asking, like Hangman was walking around with this like half a hoodie, like a sleeveless hoodie, and his
Mm-hmm.
thing was up. And I swear, because his hoodie was up, every time he would walk into me. And I'm like, God damn you. What the hell? Cody was down the hall. I'd see Cody all the time. Um, Colt was not. Colt was, I think, below me, maybe. I don't know. But just stuff like that. And even the last one I went on, a lot of people were like down the hall from me or whatnot. So it kind of was like, okay, I see you all the time. It was cute that they did give Darius and Dante one of those rooms in the Haven because the two of them were together because they have like 2 bedroom suites up there. So that
Oh,
was cool, you know.
yeah.
But I think the whole JAS was up there. So
But the bogus part about it is is that you have like a full week almost. It's a long
yeah,
time. It's so
but
the
they're
novelty of
around.
bumping into somebody dwindles as you see them more, which
Mhm.
is good for them. Like, I mean, if you hide the whole time, then every time you show up, yes, you will be bum rushed. But if you are just around a lot, people will get
Mhm.
that out of their system day one and two. Like that's
Oh
it,
my
you know?
gosh. Totally. Like every time I was around, like I would run into Daniel Garcia, like every Wardlow. I actually, at the end of the cruise when we were leaving, all of a sudden my friend was like, "Oh, Wardlow's behind you." And I turned around and he saw me and he kind of waved and I'm like, "You're stalking me. You've got to stop." And he just laughed.
Yeah.
But it
When we
was
get off
funny
this boat,
because
we're going our separate ways, Wardlow.
yeah, we need to split up, okay? If you ever leave your wife, call me. You know, but
Yeah. But until then,
no,
separate ways.
yeah, separate ways. I'll see you in a couple of weeks. I mean,
Yeah.
that's which is awesome. Like, so I would see him all the time. At first, when I first got on the boat, I went and packed and everything. My friends they saw everybody. I saw Cardona walking around all the time, Hornswoggle. I saw almost everybody. I saw Jade a couple times, but I was like, you look like a bitch. I ain't going near you. You have a bad weave. If I did meet her, I'd probably tell her that her hair sucks because it was bad looking. I mean, it looked like Spirit Halloween costume type of wig. It was really bad. But then there were other people who were like Shida. I kept running into Shida everywhere. And Eddie, I would see Aldous everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, that was awesome. Like when he signed my poster when I went to the autograph session, I was like, I messaged Marty and told him that I talked to you. And I said, I don't think you hate me anymore. But no. He said that he thought it was brilliant that I was really loud and like, because he was telling me, he said he thought it was just brilliant that I was really loud and he could feed off of it. And
you talking about Nick?
Yeah, Nick.
Yeah. You told that story. You told that story before. We just got done with that story.
Oh, duh. Okay. See, I was drunk. I don't know.
So made those stories great.
I did tell him I did message him when he sent my poster, and I said, yeah. But the beauty of it is, I wish people could see that, and whatever.
Yeah.
But now, I will say, like people like Ricky Hobbs is like that. All these people gone Hollywood, and I'm like, what? It's like,
does Hobbs have a book out? I thought I heard somewhere that Hobbs is releasing a book or something.
I don't know. I don't think he's releasing it. He's calling his wrestling journey the Book of Hobbs.
Oh,
and there's another chapter.
That's probably what I was thinking of. Right.
Yeah, I'm like, I didn't know he was writing a book. Okay. But he's basically, this is the next chapter. So if we want to pre-book things, I have some thoughts. Now, one, based on information that I kind of was told, not told, but hinted to. There's going to a big match with him is going to be a couple big matches are going to be happening with him during the San Francisco AEW week. So cool. I believe that Revolution's going to have a match, the match of Chris Jericho versus Ricky Starks at Revolution.
Are they going to be done at that point? Like,
Jericho
gets his fucking win over Starks, crushes them, and moves on. Jericho has to end every feud by getting his win back.
That's a good question, but I have a feeling no.
I hope not.
But it's the only reason why I'm saying this is because his mom and his sister are coming out. You heard it here first. And they wouldn't come out unless there's some big to do. So I'm calling it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But if I'm right, which I'm pretty sure I am, you heard it here first. So, and I only got that because of a conversation I had. But anyways, see, people tell me things. Anyways, so I don't know. I just am really I'm over the asshole kind of thing. And I really think that as I watched, that kind of just, I'm like, okay, cool. If fans are stupid, if they want to like think that's acceptable, then you're dumb, which is most of their fans. And I think that, there's a point where, us as fans, we make these people. We can make them or break them.
Yeah, I think the best thing to do, and we've started doing it too, was like Well, I mean, for one, you just mute a lot of the idiocy at all. But like when these people are assholes, like I don't necessarily go out and call them out. I mean, I'm starting to deal with more and more people, and those people are rude or difficult or anything like that. I don't like go on a tirade or send out a fucking tweet with a notes app, but I just stop talking about them. I stop talking about them. I stop supporting them. I stop retweeting them. I stop all of that stuff. I stop trying to tell people to check out this thing or that. It's just one of those things where you just go radio silent on it. And if enough fans do that, they get what they got, what they, they reap what they sow at that point, and if
Yeah.
stop buying the merch, stop tweeting about them. Don't even tweet about them to say they're a dick. Just don't tweet at all. Like, just let it be silent.
Yeah.
Don't let them trend even out of negativity.
Here's a story about Starks and even Hager to a point. But the last matches of the night, the last wrestling set, Ricky was facing Hager. This was pure comedy. So when Ricky made his entrance toward where the ring was, there was a guy that had bought the, I like this hat. And Hager had a thing where if you bought that hat, he would snap a picture with you. Just stop him at any time, which I thought was kind of nice.
That's funny.
Would he sign it? No. But it's cool that he opened it up to stop him, which I thought was kind of cool because I don't really get the feeling that he would.
I don't think he gets bothered a lot.
He didn't do it before. I'll just say that, right?
And I wonder if he doesn't sign the hat because this is going to sound asshole-ish, and I apologize, but I wonder if he knows that people don't stop to ask him for photos or stop to ask him for his signature, but he's got this gimmick hat thing going, so he doesn't want to sign the hat because he knows that 9 times out of 10 on that one, someone's probably trying to sell it. You know what I mean? Because they weren't asking for a signature before he had that thing. I don't mean that to be rude or be a jerk. He's just not that popular, and he's not that, which is also fine. He's doing great. Like, he doesn't need my approval for anything, nothing like that. But I can understand that philosophy too. I'm not signing this one thing because you didn't ask for my signature yesterday until you had the thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. Fluffy. Now I think about it, when I met Fluffy, the only thing he would not sign was the Fluffy Tapatio bottles. Because those he saw go online for like $200, $300, and he didn't like that at all. He wants people to be able to get them and have them and enjoy them. So we did have a Tapatio bottle. He signed our pop for us, which was cool. But I can understand certain people having boundaries of like, hey, this one product people are overdoing, and I don't want to be a part of that. But this full stop, I'm not signing anything, and I don't want pictures and stuff. It's kind of like, I don't know why you're here then. Yeah. Like, not that they're reduced down to just being a commodity. You know what I mean? It's not that your only value is a photo and an autograph. But I remember, so when we got the Royal Rumble package, the Royal package for 2019 Royal Rumble, WWE put us up in a hotel. That was part of the package. Well, because they're not dumb and it's easy and it's cool for everybody, they put us in the same hotel as the talent. So you'd see the talent walking around, you'd be in the restaurant, there's the talent, you'd be at the bar, there's the talent, and it allows you the opportunity to mingle with them. Well, the problem is a lot of these autograph hounds know what hotel they're staying at and just camp out in the lobby. So they don't know who's who anymore, which is why I said at one point in my review thing that it'd be cool if they gave you like a lanyard or something that would signify to the talent, this is somebody that they should give a minute to. You know what I mean? This is somebody who's paid an awful lot for an experience, right? And I think since then they actually did it. Because the other thing we complained about was that the access, we had to pick one meet and greet, and then the rest of the meet and greet, well, you didn't necessarily have to pay for them, but I mean, some of them you did have to pay for. Like Charlotte, you had to pay for, and Finn, you had to pay for. Like, there was certain talent, but then like, the table that had like Naomi or the Riot Squad and stuff like that, you didn't have to pay for them. You just had to wait in the line. And I made a comment that, we spend this mass amount and they don't even let us cut the line on any of them. So like, you do your one meet and greet and then you're just part of the crowd and no one cares who you are anymore. And it's like, it would be nice if they, especially because they had it set up for handicap. They had an area, so if you were in a wheelchair, they would shoot you to the front of the line. And I'm not saying you should be treated equally, but at the same time, it's like you already had a setup of a hot shot line. You know what I mean? Like, and you had we had 25 VIP members on that level, so it's like 25 people cutting the line here and there wouldn't have made a big difference. So I put that in there
Yeah.
too, and I actually found out that they started doing that too. But all of that, a side note too, it feels shittier when you pay for that extra experience and you get blown off and you
Oh
get
yeah.
like talked to in a way that's like, oh, you're just one of these autograph hounds. It's like, no. I'm a massive collector because I'm such a big fan. And I'm not sitting here with 13 8x10s and 6 trading cards. Like, I just want you to sign my Royal Rumble hat. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not flipping it.
Mhm.
I want it on my wall. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so to see that they're doing that on the boat too, it's like you go this extra mile to just be in the world with them for just a minute. One of my favorite memories of that whole weekend was buying the Good Brothers a shot of whiskey and having a beer with them. And they just got drunk and were talking, and we were just having a good time. Me and my brother and the Good Brothers hanging out.
Yeah, you brothered them softly. That was
Yeah.
amazing. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then we
That's
didn't get a
that's
picture
how
with
it is.
them. We didn't get an autograph with them. We just wanted to experience, hey, can I buy you a drink? And they were very open to that. And I was like, yes. But there was other people where it's like, can I buy you a drink? And it's like, get out of here, you fan. And it's like, come on. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
I dropped $7,000 just to buy you a drink.
you're like, let me buy you a drink. God damn
Yeah.
it.
You know?
Well, Chris Jericho had the Jericho experience,
Yeah.
which was $2,500. Okay. But this is what you got. Okay. You got to spend an hour with Jericho. He did a special Q&A session for these people.
Okay.
There
So like
weren't
a
that
live
many.
podcast.
Yeah, pretty much. No,
'Cause
but
he's
no,
gotta be
that
on
one
stage.
wasn't live. He had their own little
Yeah.
thing. I think they sold 10 of them. But he did spend an hour with each one of the people. They scheduled it, right? So
Oh,
I
okay.
thought that was kind of cool.
That is cool.
They got one of the belts, these fancy, rock and wrestling
okay.
rager belts, which is cool,
Yeah.
Then he obviously will sign those for them, and
Yeah.
then he signed other things for them as well too. They took professional photos with him, all sorts of other cool stuff.
That's cool.
Was it worth $2,500? If you're a big Jericho fan, yeah.
Yeah, probably.
I'm not. I wouldn't pay that. Hell, if you're like, if I were to pay, I don't know, let's say Colt Cabana, I'm not going to pay. If I pay him $2,500, there's other things I want, and I'm not going there. So no, I would not do that.
Also, from what I remember, wasn't the base level to get a room and hang out on there wasn't about $1,000?
Per person, or
Yeah.
if you're
Yeah,
going
per
by
person.
yourself?
Yeah.
No. The base price was like $700.
700. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But that's you're in the bottom of the boat. But
Yeah.
I'm not talking shit about that, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
it depends on where
Just to
you are in
get
the
in.
boat.
So as you
I
get to the
think it
higher
was.
levels, it's not as ridiculous to think that the extra 500 or grand to do that full thing wouldn't be necessarily worth it if, like you said, you're a big Jericho fan. So that's kind of neat. But still.
It depends. If you went by yourself and you had the cheapest room, because you have to pay for 2 people, basically. They give you a little bit of a break, but not much. I did that the last time. I think I paid $1,200
Okay. Well, yeah,
to
then
go.
see.
And I was an inside cabin, but I loved it. Versus I had a friend of mine go, and I went with her. She had a balcony. I didn't like it. Why? Because there was light that came in, and I loved my coffin interior cabin where when I would come in, I turned the lights off. It was dark, and I was like a vampire, slept like a baby. Loved it, daylight. But I think for me, since there is a 5th, I'm definitely leaning on going.
Yeah.
Because now that that Cardona is the king of the sea, he probably have to come back and defend that belt.
Unless he signs with WWE, then yeah.
Then they'd have to have a tournament all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was funny because I think that if there are people on that roster who would go, it'll be very interesting to see who would.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll say this too, Guevara, as much as I hate that little shit, and his wife, they actually were pretty cool with fans. I have a little respect for Sammy, a little bit more, which I thought was great. He actually, there was a little boy, apparently. I only heard this story, and I wish I was there to see it because that would have probably changed a little bit my mind on
Mhm.
of him. But little boy, he stopped. I guess he was a fan of Sammy's, and he stopped, and he was with this kid for like good 20 minutes or so,
Just hanging.
talking with him and, fooling around with the kid and whatever. And it was really cute because, his wife got involved and everything. And it was, from what people said, was pretty cute. And I thought, one of my friends had witnessed this. And I said, oh, I kind of wish I saw that because
That's cool. Yeah.
maybe
That's the other
it
thing.
would
Like I
have
said, you're out there for days and days and days. Like,
Mhm.
time is not. I mean, it's the
Time
most
means
extendable thing you
nothing.
have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you going to
You
be in
see them
your
all the
hotel
time.
for 3-4 hours, or are you going to just go down to the deck and see some fans for a couple hours and make their day, make their life? Like I
Mhm.
said, I still think about that one time I had drinks with the Good Brothers. They have
Yeah.
no idea. They don't remember. I know for a
Oh, yeah.
fact Carl Anderson doesn't remember because he didn't remember the next day when I bumped into him again. You know what I mean? But it's also
Yeah, yeah, no,
fine.
totally.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because like to them, it's just a night on one of
Mhm.
many nights, but to the fans, it means so much.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's kind of cool when you go out, like the places you'd always see them were obviously the buffet because, they had their own
Mhm.
dining room, but it was just like snacks. It wasn't like, you know, food or whatever, but it was places to get like water and, stuff like that so they don't have to pay for that stuff, like us
Yeah.
peasants do. But you got that, then, so you would know where it's obvious where that room was. So if you were to like hang out there, you could,
See him
but
coming and going.
but still same thing regardless of whatever.
Yeah.
I think that, there you would see them. Hell, if you went to where the gym was, which was right actually near the spa and the merch store, you would
Mhm.
see people all the time. That's
Mhm.
where I saw Brutus Beefcake. Then I didn't have to go to the Legends thing because I have a picture with Hacksaw somewhere. But, you know, like I
Hacksaw's
said,
so
it was like, you know, it's one of those things where a lot of the people, like, they'd love to stop. Like last cruise, Ricky Morton, oh my God, him and his wife, like, anytime you sat there and they talked to you, I mean, hell, like, I think one of the times why one of my friends, the table that we were all with, we kept them for like an hour. We were just like
yeah.
talking and listening to some of his stories. And it's cool to have those experiences. I mean, that's when sometimes you get that opportunity to, like, that conversation I had with Aldous, holy shit. I would never have had that anywhere else, you
Yeah.
know? I mean, which is kind of cool. And, drunk Shida would never have had that anywhere else and whatnot. And, you know, and knowing that whatchamacallit is just as obnoxious, daddy magic, whatever the hell, that he's really obnoxious and not obnoxious in person. There were some people I did not see a lot, but whatever, maybe I wasn't looking for them. I don't know. I
Mhm.
saw Danhausen without makeup a lot. I don't know. For me, it's kind of weird. It's like
Yeah.
luchadors, like when they don't have the masks on and whatever, and you know what they look like. It's like kind of you don't want to bother them. But
Yeah.
then with Danhausen, I don't know.
His
I don't
wife
know
was
the
with him
protocol.
because I saw his wife posted a bunch of pictures of them together, and like only
Yeah,
one or two had his paint. Like they were just hanging out all over the boat with, and you can
they
tell like,
were. They were hanging out
which is cool
everywhere,
because
like
to them it's like free trip and
free trip.
yeah.
Yeah. Lethal and I, that was funny because I asked Lethal, I'm like, where the hell's Sanjay? And he goes, he claims that, he didn't want to take his kids out of work. And he's like, I told him, I said, that's a free vacation for your whole family. And
Yeah.
I go, why didn't he do it? I said, you could have told him, hey, that's why Cabana goes on this shit because the vacation is free. I'm like,
Mhm.
hello. And he goes, I should have said that. And I go, see, you could tell him that I said that too. So it was really fun. And then Satnam thing was hilarious. Um, I actually like when we took the picture, he was sitting down and I thanked him for making me look tall next to him.
That's fine.
And he laughed. So just fun things that you run into. I
Yeah.
mean, my poster, apparently the ass boys, I hate calling them that,
Mm-hmm.
but the guns didn't know that there were two posters. One was, your typical wrestling old school fight poster.
Yeah.
And the other one, which I bought because I thought was cooler, was a photo of Jericho was riding it was underwater. Jericho was riding an alligator attacking a shark. And I thought that was kind of badass for whatever reason. And when I had it out and I put it down and the gun signed it, Colton Gunn was like, holy fuck. He's like, that's amazing. He's like, I need to have some art of me on some I don't know, like a dolphin or something, attacking a kraken. I go, sometimes ask and ye shall receive.
Yeah, get online.
They were amazed by it. And then Nemeth didn't see it before either. And he's like, what is this? And I said, isn't it kind of cool? I said, nobody's buying this poster. I said, but I had to because it was kind of unusual. So and then him and Peter Avalon were kind of drawing on the shark. And then he wrote a thing above the shark, said, I love Hunk. And so every time he saw that poster, he did something special to it. And I thought that was really kind of cool because other people were showing me what he did, what he was doing with them. So I thought that was cool. I'm like, that's
dope.
Bravo, dude. Bravo.
Were there any other stories that you wanted to shoot out about there before we wrap this one up?
No, but I really think that, that if this is something, because there is a fifth that you are interested in, I am plugging a not sponsored little thing that I will have a discount code for you guys to be determined because I do not have it yet. So there's a pre-sale that goes on first for alumni, and then it goes out to the public. So once I get my one for the alumni, I will hand it out. It would be really, really fun if we had because honestly, there's a lot of drinking that goes on this thing. And we're the perfect bunch of drinking buddies that should go on this. I mean, wouldn't it be cool to have the Brothers in Time, us, hell, I'll even extend it to Bishop. I know he won't go because whatever. But I'm like, Delaware's not fun, dude.
Yeah, he
can't. We're going to Mexico.
Yeah. There's no boats that go to Delaware.
That's true. But wait a minute. Didn't George Washington do something?
I never met the guy.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, is Delaware even on the water?
I don't know, but boats don't go there. That's all I can say.
Well, you don't know. I mean, they might have boats in, that those what's that one? The one with the wicked tuna or whatever. That sounds like one of those places they would go to.
Well, but chickens don't need boats. You don't need boats for chickens.
True. But you never know. Don't they have sea chickens? Chicken of the sea?
That's a good point. There's chicken of the sea. They would need boats for that.
Yeah, I know. Yep. Shout out to you, Bishop and Delaware. I don't think there was anybody from Delaware on the boat. I should ask.
Because they can't get
anyone here from Delaware? And probably the truth. Probably the truth on that one. But we did get, and I can't wait to see, we did get a little bit of Brad Williams and Hornswoggle going at it. Brad Williams did a really great stunner to Hornswoggle. It was great. Awesome. I must say. We got a Canadian destroyer into the pool. That was awesome.
That's dope.
Those kinds of things. I mean, you can't do that. And then, of course, Flip's Marty Scurll tribute, and I cried. I miss Marty. Hell, he should be on the next boat. But for now, think about it, people. This would be a great thing, I don't know. Marsh has pool now. Maybe they'll even let us podcast with somebody that's on the boat. I'm not saying Jericho, but I don't care. Maybe we get a D-lister in the world of AEW. I don't know.
Maybe I can convince Medusa to get on the boat.
Dude, she did it once, right?
I don't know. I don't know if she's ever been on the boat. Let's find out.
I thought she did it once.
I don't know. I've never asked.
Ask her. Because she should do it, and then she could do her podcast, and then, hey, you get to go for free.
Yeah.
Just, hey, dude, I'm a friend. Give me the talent thing.
Yeah, a little backstage pass.
Access.
I'll be like, I can't hang out with you, Amanda. I'll be in the Haven.
And I'll be all, fuck you, Marsh. You in Hollywood, motherfucker.
But I'll give you a drinking buddy shirt that I've autographed and be like, here, but you can have this. It's no big deal.
Oh, great. I don't know how much I can flip it for. Maybe a $5. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I just go down to the bar and I
maybe
see
with
someone
her, she
using
could
it as
be-
a bar rag, cleaning up the
There you go.
countertop with
Or
it.
she could be the cruise director. Vicky did it once. Oh my god, Vicky
Oh.
always looks so incredible.
Yeah.
And Mickey was it this year. Mickey
Okay.
James. It was great. At her photo session, she did it was the same with Sabu. And I was like, you know what, my friend wanted both. So I gave her my Mickey one and I said, that's fine. I'll probably see her later. And she had the impact belt with her. So she was taking pictures with people with the impact belt.
She's so nice.
I thought
When I
that's
ran
kinda
into her a
cool.
couple of times, she was so nice.
Yeah, she is amazing. I love her to death. Like she's one again that will sit there and just like talk to everybody. Poor Nick was just sitting there and people weren't talking. That's the only reason why I kind of went over.
Mickey
I'm like,
was really
"Nick,
big
sorry."
on eye contact and smiling at
Mhm,
everybody she could
mhm.
and giving them a
Yeah,
little arm
the-
squeeze and hey, how you doing? Even if she didn't have time, she gave you just a couple
something.
seconds, a little
Mhm,
something to be
mhm.
like, hey, I see you
Yeah,
and I appreciate you. And it was just really cool to watch her do
totally.
that.
That's Wardlow right there.
Mm.
Mickey, Wardlow, that's them right there. Like I would say that them and probably who else was it? There was one other person I think that was really like that with everybody. And I was kind of like, I didn't really expect that, but okay. It was Action Andretti was he gets it.
Yeah.
And definitely in person, he does look like he's related to Ocean Spray. And
That's
I
what
think I accidentally said that. I said, "You kind of remind me of a better Will Ospreay." And he laughed. And I said, "Yeah, because you're not botchy."
mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he's like, I know. I said, "But you're going to go far. You're going to go farther than that guy."
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Well,
but that was it. So hopefully next year, maybe we will convince Marsh to go and he can wear his Cardona ref jersey and maybe you can help him out because he knocked out the ref and Flip should have won.
can you
I'm
imagine
putting
how
on email.
fucking funny it would be if they did a ref bump and me in a Matt Cardona always ready ref shirt slides in and does the 3 count and
That would
wearing
be
a Matt
amazing.
Cardona always ready shirt because it's all like, well, I was ready. Black
Yeah.
pants and everything tucked in,
You're
just
right.
ready to go. Right in
There
the
you
front row,
go.
just being like, hey, if you need me.
I'm always ready. I'm always ready.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it was only Posey and Aubrey on the boat. Now Aubrey is an interesting character. I still don't like her. She just gives me bad people vibes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Posey was really cool. So he was having a good old time.
Well, we'll be back next week to talk more about what ends up happening on TV, what we see of it, any memories you drum up. But as far as this one, I hope you guys have enjoyed the clips and the photos and a little bit of story time as we break down the old Jericho Cruise. So, guys, thank you for coming through and having a drink with us, being our drinking buddies on this one. Ahoy, mateys. We'll be back next week for a brand new episode 1 right here in the dive bar of the IWC. That's last call.
Thanks.
Hey, producer lady here. Thanks for tuning in. Continue to support us or buy us a drink by following and putting the I in subscribe on Twitch. Or subscribe and review our podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to us. Cheers!
I would never have a drink with wrestling on the rocks.